If this Ramon channel's up before, I realize I need a haircut. Anyway, this is my Quran series. Catholic reads the Quran. Me read book. I don't know. My Religions of the World series. I have no idea. Anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to read about 50 pages out of the study Quran a day, or roughly 20 pages out of the Penguin. But I got stuck today on a verse, on a aria. I thought I'd share with you my thoughts. So we're still in the cow, and while you get a little bit of, like I said, them building a case on how and why they consider their religion, Islam, the true religion, and in what ways the Hebrews and Jewish people messed up their covenant. They then get into Christianity, but they don't really delve into it. They just kind of move past it. And they continue to build a case for their preeminence and for the failures of Jewish and Christian piety. And then a switch happens, and you start getting a lot of advice. Advice on how to be a good Muslim, on how to be a good person, on how to be a good believer. It's just advice. And the advice that you get basically is to be charitable, to give alms, to fast, but not to fast if you are if you're sick or if you're weak, and that if you miss prayer or you miss a festival, just to make it up. So it addresses a lot of the stuff, a lot of the issues theologically and religiously that are not addressed in other religious texts. It's actually very prescriptive, and it deals with a lot of, I want to say, developed religious ideas that just are not there in earlier religious texts. It doesn't have a lot of mystery cult stuff like a lot of the Greek and Roman paganism does. It also doesn't have a lot of the cataclysmic stuff that you see in Norse. It doesn't have a lot of the self-denial stuff that you see in Buddhism. It doesn't have a lot of balance like you see in Taoism. It starts becoming its own thing really fast. But from their view, it starts showing the shortcomings of other faiths. And basically, I'm understanding what they're saying, and I'm having to jump back and forth between the two translations, where I'm basically just reading everything twice. So my reading speed slowed down because I'm now reading every aria, I don't know, every verse. I'm reading it twice. I'm reading it in one translation and the other, and then I'm reading the commentary. And as this is happening, we finally get to the first real strong, an un-Christian dogma. But before we hit that, let me say that there is something interesting happening, which is because of the oral tradition that surrounds it, because it is a recitation, because it's oral. You get some interesting little tidbits, like, and I was saying this to a friend of mine today. Me and my friend used to play video games, and this is what we used to do in high school together. And it would be like if somebody was telling our story, and they were like, remember that time that you guys worked out, that night that you guys went out and worked out together, and then you played video games, and then you flew to the moon, and then you guys went home and had a barbecue. And it's like, wait, that little middle one. What? We went to the moon? Like, I don't remember that happening. So they'll tell stories about Abraham and Moses, and there'll be one or two references that, like, it's just like that time, like you all know, it'll say something like, it's just as you know, this happened, and it's like, wait, that didn't happen. That's not in the text. So there's little stuff with like Moses that's not inside the biblical text. There's little stuff with Ishmael that I hadn't heard before, but it says it as if it's common knowledge. So that's interesting. But as that was becoming interesting, enticing, exciting, whatever, Then I got hit with something and I had to stop, and that's why I'm making this video now. So this is Surah 2, Ara 194, and I'm going to read from both translations, and I'm going to add a bit at the end from earlier in the text, and then I'm going to explain it to the best of my understanding. Okay, so like I said, you just got the advice to be charitable, to give alms, and to fast, and to be merciful. And you keep on getting reminded that God is a merciful and forgiving God, which all sounds traditional and you know, kind of common knowledge stuff for those who are religious. And then you hear this. If anyone attacks you, attack him as he attacks you. Huh? Okay. So then let's check out how the other translation has it. So whoever transgresses against you, transgress against him in like manner as he transgressed against you. Earlier, even sacred things. Now, in the commentary, it says it's talking about a very specific case where the helpers were in a situation where they weren't allowed to go to a minor pilgrimage, and they were being allowed to retaliate in kind or in the same equal manner. But it's very, very clear here that this is this could be taken very extreme. This could be taken very far, all on its own. Misunderstood very easily if what the commentaries say are correct. And so, like, this is an inversion of the Christian understanding. The Christian understanding is forgive those who trespass against you, and to get forgiveness, and to ask forgiveness as you forgive those who trespass against you. Okay, that's the Christian understanding, that you forgive because you yourself mess up. Okay, that's the understanding. Here, it's inversed. It's not turn the other cheek. It's fight back. That's a little uncomfortable considering our current political situation and historical situation. So, what are the I'm going to say sins because I haven't learned what the Quran's terminology is yet. What are the sins that allow you to push back with equal measure? Disbelief, idolatry, and apostasy. I don't know, man. Like, I read past this point the last time I read it, when I read it right before college or in college. I didn't read much further than here, but I didn't remember this being in here, and wow, that's heavy. Like, that's heavy. I plan to keep reading this. I don't plan to stop, but I do not know what to do with that information. If they're really arguing, you know, that this is a book of peace and a religion of peace, then this is a rough saying, it's a hard saying, challenging saying. So I had to stop there because it took up a lot of my brain power to, the Christian term is reconcile it, but I'm not trying to reconcile it with anything. Just to understand it, it took some time. So anyway, that's kind of rough. I'll be reading another 50 pages, and when I get done with that, I'll have another video for you guys. Also, continue watching my other series, please. I'm doing more than one book. I'm doing 2 books right now at the same time, and hopefully I'll get to other books and other texts if this continues to go well, which I'm getting more subscribers, so hopefully I can get some more views. So everything's all good. Talk to you guys later. Peace.